Right, turn 15 and the home stretch then. 4 turns to go and we're doing quite well. Plan is pretty much as we expected, maybe not quite. We're certainly attacking where we were supposed to attack. We're just not steamrolling down that line as we initially thought, just because of maybe the erratic movements of the AI. Didn't do much in that turn, Wellington and Cuesta. He bolstered that centre again with all those Spanish troops. He's left a bit of a gap there. And down in the south, you can just about see there, as I said last turn, I'm probably going to start withdrawing some of these troops, tactical withdrawal, just because I'm fighting a bit of a losing battle there, and I'm losing men for nothing. Don't have to take Talavera, it's all about destroying his army and taking numbers. That cavalry didn't attack our artillery as we potentially thought he would, so that's good. Those troops still remain broken. So we'll crack on with this turn and see what we can achieve. Hopefully close this circle around the woods and start chipping away at more of his numbers. He really has lost a lot more already than he did on the actual day. So, going to start with our artillery on that cavalry. And get another battery going on as well. So, reduce them down to about 300. Get our artillery down here. Where's our artillery? In here. Okay. And we'll have a go with them. It's about the only target they'll be able to see. Bad. Our other horse artillery, we're going to bring that up to the woods. Where's it nice and protected? Probably somewhere up here. Start bringing it into the woods. Our other horse artillery, we can bring that to the front line. That's where we want it. And we might bring that whole, if we've got enough movement points, that whole front line there on that sort of slight higher ground overlooking that cavalry. Still wary of his cavalry in the woods there. They sort themselves out. No, they're still disordered, but still wary of the numbers that he's actually got. Our heavy guns then, we'll have a look at what can they see. Not a huge amount from where they are now. Let's have a look at what these guys can see. If they can't see anything either, then I might just bring my batteries up and reposition them. Possibly up here on this high ground by the victory point, because we've got nice fields of fire over pretty much that whole ravine, if you like, there. In fact, that is what we're going to do. Be a little bit more aggressive than I usually am. I'm not worried about them breaking that centre at this stage, not after their past performance, so those guns aren't in any danger, but we're going to send some troops forward with them anyway. And we'll also send Marshal Jourdan and his guard, or his bodyguard of dragoons. He still hasn't sorted them out, that's surprising. But you're needed elsewhere, Jourdan, forget about those. Pick them up on the way back. Right, what have we got here? We've got some guns, and we'll have a look at what they can see. And they can see that Spanish cavalry, and see some turrets. We'll have a go at that Spanish cavalry this time. As we will with these guns, and here, they can pretty much only see these Brits here. So we finally got rid of those Somersets. Finally. Very brave men, but foolish men. Can't really see anything with this battery, so again it might be a case of us actually limbering him up and trying to find a better spot for him. Now, where is that better spot? Well, that cavalry is potentially lurking in the woods. However, we might bring it to just support these troops over here and create a sort of a mini battery here as well, if you like. So we'll bring them over. We've got this battery up here. They usually can see a little bit more than the other battery. What can they see? Yeah, they can see that Spanish cavalry. So soften them up a little bit. Now these guns are facing this way, remember, just because we had that Spanish cavalry lurking in our rear last time, and all of a sudden we can't see it. So we're going to have to spread out and use these squadrons to try and find this cavalry. In any case, it's not too bad. They're sort of a spent force. They're not up to much use, these squadrons, 38 men. So what I can do with them is protect my supply wagons, just in case those cavalry do make an appearance. I'll bring them along as well. So the cavalry are either in the woods down here that we can't see, or they double back north. But we had cavalry there, I would have thought we'd have seen them. Alright, so I'm going to leave those guns facing that way, just in case those cavalry are brave enough to come back up. Down in the south, yep, we're definitely going to withdraw. It's a bit of a messy situation there. Spanish do have the numbers. Our quality of troops, our Germans, keep going on about them, aren't the best. So I'm going to withdraw to sort of join up on the left flank of these guys up here. Who have we got up here? The garrison brigade. And yeah, just basically consolidate that southern flank. Don't care about Talavera. What I want to do is have some troops to withdraw and keep them intact. Don't want to lose them for the sake of losing them. Up to north flank then and see what we can do up here. Alright, our cavalry, they've taken that victory location, so that's a nice 100 points in the bag. And these guys are going to look out for Wellington's line of retreat. So his potential line of retreat, there is a road through there, but it's quite a windy road. I'm just going to spread them out on this high ground up here, all along this road, and deal with any stragglers that find their way back. I'll go to the limit at the edge of the wood there. Bring them up, bring those guys up here, those guys here. Where are we looking for there? Yeah, I'll bring them up behind as well. So unless anything happens, I'm going to leave them there probably for the rest of the scenario. Going to push forward with skirmishers. Okay, they didn't find anything, that's good. Now, all these troops haven't actually done anything yet, they're quite fresh. And they're quite nicely supplied now. So I'll leave that supply wagon where it is, push forward with these skirmishers. And these line troops will have a go at the Spanish from the rear. What we'll do though is bring La Bruyere, whatever his name is, bad with names, into the fray as well. And he can use his 1st Brigade, 2nd Battalion and have a go at them. Okay, surprising, but they did have the high ground. We were behind them. Okay, we had the numbers. Dice roll didn't go in our favour anyway. What else have we got? So we got this skirmish line that's just quite annoying. So we'll bring them up. And we will advance on the charge. Same with these guys, advance on the charge, stop them up with a volley, and then advance. Now, that's quite nice. They popped up behind us, however, we do have our 2nd Hussars there, with Beaumont himself poised to make a charge. I'm going to do just that, and we'll probably just overrun. Yep. So the American rifles are gone, they're out of the fray. Fill up that gap with cavalry here. Now do I have... no, I won't have enough points for a charge. So I'll bring them up here. And the cavalry here now, I'm still going with my plan that if that cavalry does manage to survive and attack that battery, then I've got our cavalry on both flanks, sacrifice that battery and then take out those dragoons. So these units in square, we're going to carry on with a bit of line fire with them. As we are with the 2nd Brigade. Alright, now we do have some dragoons here on their flank. What's our numbers? Numbers aren't great. But we do have these hussars up here. Now, let's get Victor right in it. He's going to lead home a charge. Be quite aggressive here with the hussars on the flank of these dragoons. And he sent a message for these 9th dragoons to come and give him a hand as well. And they're going to do just that. Now we've got parity in numbers, actually we've got advantage in numbers, and we'll see what the dice says to us, if it's kind to us. is indeed. We managed to push them back, and it's pretty much carnage in there. All those horses escaped into that square, so there's a lot of disorder in there. Got some Berkshires there. We'll deal with them in line. Take a bit of wind out of their sails. And then these Connaughts are still behind us here. However, we can charge, which is what we're going to do. Try and get them out of the way. Oh, they're tough little buggers. Right, what I'm going to do, bring them on their flank, turn around for face. So next time we can actually get them on the charge. So we're going to wheel around these 3 squadrons on the charge, ready to deal with them next time. Right, a bit messy now in the middle. Bring these forward in line. Have a crack at these King German Legion. How many is there? 200. They've got a leader, and no, we won't have a go at them. But we will bring forward these Ligurian troops as well. Put them in line. Who's that? Captain Elliot. Okay, another leader potentially, but we'll have a go at these King's German Legion because they're in fairly good order. But we've seen an opportunity there to take a leader, and there's some skirmishes. So Dijon and his 14th Dragoons are going to go on charge, those that can. Go forward, and hopefully we should capture that leader. How are we doing with leads of casualties? Anyway, I haven't checked for a while. So we lost von Burstein, and we lost Joseph as well. However, Allied leaders are mounting up. They haven't lost anybody major. Mackenzie's gone, and certainly Joseph, Spain losing Joseph isn't the end of the world, so I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. Alright, carrying on in the centre. Start to bring these skirmishers forward. Some broken skirmishers there. Move them out the way really. Put them on the victory point as a rally point. Up here, a bunch of troops here. Who are they? A whole hodgepodge. King's German Legion, foot infantry, and quite a few leaders. I wonder. There's Wellington there. Right, 45th line. I've got who's got the most? Definitely the Worcesters. So we'll have a go at the Worcesters. I'm not going to charge with these Dragoons, but I will bring them into higher ground and wheel them around ready for next time to come down off that high ground, off that step, and potentially charge if there's anybody there. Who have we got left there? Our rifles, not worried about them. Only 10 to 20 or 10 to 19 of them. But I will bring forward some more troops. Are we on the charge? Yep. These rifles. We charged them last time from 2 directions, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and still didn't win. But we'll try again. Actually, we'll soften them up first. Got low ammo there, can't use those skirmishers. Don't really do much. Actually, I'm going to save my cavalry, and use them on the Prince of Wales Irish. So, Cassania, you can go forward and take out the remainder. Unbelievable. Who are these people? What are they made of? Right, never mind. They're no threat to us. It's just that they're holding up units at the back, having to deal with these guys. Right, these Prince of Wales Irish, we'll have a go with them, soften them up. And then we're on the charge. These guys, can they join the charge? These guys can, just to be sure. We'll bring in the 3rd Brigade of the 14th Dragoons, and what have we got there? 300 odd cavalry on their flank with a leader, and we got rid of them. We broke them. Oh, we didn't break them. We don't know yet. And we got here. We fired with that horse artillery on these guys, so we will, with the plan, soften them up with a volley fire, and then lead home a bayonet charge. So we push them back. We can charge with some of these cavalry, however we need to get these line troops out of the way first, so I'm going to get them up with that artillery, and then charge with the 1 Brigade cavalry, but get the others involved as well. There'll be a few stragglers come along for the ride. and we took a good number of them. Right, Spanish troops are still there. They're doing well, the Spanish. I take back some of what I said earlier. These guys are good. Go in line again against the Spanish. Who's got the most? 500 and 100, so definitely the Murcia troops. They were doing well down the south, so I take it they're going to do quite well up here. They're starting to recover a little bit, so we're going to chase up that cavalry, take some pot shots at them with muskets, and hopefully, let's have a look. Do we have enough to bring that horse artillery forward? No, but we will next turn. Do we have enough there? No, but we will do next turn. And some more Spanish troops up here. We're disordered, so we're not going to do anything other than have a bit of a fire on them. They're quite good. Into line. What have we got there? That's our guard, and they've all recovered. Campbell sorted his guards out. So this might potentially be a little bit of a thorn in our side, but we'll see how the situation develops. They're disordered and low ammo, so they can defend themselves, but we're going to have to sort out. We do have an ammo wagon there though. So we need to bolster around these guards because they are back in the fight. Low numbers because that artillery was so effective on them earlier on. Talk about that. What can this artillery here see? See that Spanish cavalry, so we'll have a crash there. Right. And we will advance along this line. Not too much. And we will turn them around, have a go at these skirmishers, get them out of the way. So that's those skirmishers out of the way. Do a bit of tidying up while we're here. And bring that supply wagon up closer. We're running low on supplies there actually. So, do we have another one? Okay, well, we will bring that supply wagon up just to bolster a little bit. Expensive business this war, use a lot of ammunition. So they've got low ammunition as well. So we do have a supply wagon here that we'll bring up to the river in a second. Then into column. Come over to the VP. We come down as well. Have a go. Still 90 of them, and they can be quite annoying to get rid of skirmishers formation. Even though they're disordered and routed, they can be a little bit of a pain in the proverbial to actually get rid of. So we stuffed them up with 2 volleys from 2 different units. Third volley, and then we'll bring it home with a bayonet charge. See, we didn't actually take that many of them at all. Now we do have skirmishers on our flanks here. So these 2 skirmishers, I'm going to soften them up, and then they're going to go skirmisher to skirmisher. Didn't manage to push them out of the way. These skirmishers can have a go there. What cavalry have we got? 200 of these dragoons. I wouldn't say they're the best quality, so I'm not going to go into square, just because I'm in obstructed terrain as well. We've got 900 odd men, with a leader there, Patocki himself, and we're going to actually give them a volley fire. And it was quite effective. What I might do is bring these guys forward, and okay, they're disordered, and do the same thing. Okay. Bring these troops slowly forward, into their way forward. Okay, we got disordered because we moved in line in the woods. And who have we got here? Oh, a lot. Should have checked that before, really. And bring that supply wagon forward, and bring that down. Bring some troops down there. They're going to stay with these guns up here. Not too worried. How's it looking in our rear? We need a bit of a rally point, and they can. Where was Jourdan? He was here with the cavalry, and get a bit of a rally point somewhere here. Just collect all our routed troops. Captain 9. So Jourdan, he might be able to actually go in and sort them out. But we don't need them, I'm not overly fussed. I'm not going to continue with these troops just because they are disordered, first of all, and there is an awful mess in there. There's what, 500-600 infantry, plus 2 leaders, plus 300 odd dragoons still. Chances are we will come off worse than that one. We've already had 1 charge. And then we come to the mess in the south. As I said, we're going to have a tactical withdrawal here. I'm going to move my supply wagons out of the way because somewhere around is that Spanish cavalry. So bringing everybody back slowly and steadily. Bring them back. Bring these guys back on the road. Got an abatis there, so it's not the best idea. Who we got to act as a rear guard? Right, these dismounted dragoons, that's going to be my rear guard, just because they can mount back up and get out pretty sharpish, and they're fairly fresh. They haven't done anything yet at all. So the Germans, they'll come back up, get the guard. These are the ones that broke before, these tiradores. Bring them back. I'm turning them around just in case the Spanish do advance, then I'm ready to have an opportunity fire and counterattack if necessary. Don't want to show my back to them because A, it's very rude to show your back to someone, and B, they'll take, potentially, or human play would definitely take full advantage of it and press home and attack, and you're weakest at the back. These Van Linnies, or Van Liners, whatever you want to call them, get them out of the way. These are all disordered so they can't do anything. Over the guard can get out of the way. Don't have enough points to move them around. They're blowing the guard. So what I will do is just split them up a little bit, just to give a little bit of protection on our flank. Got the guard here, but they are pretty much blown. Let's have a think now. What's the way out of here? Is it here? No, it's back in here. Disordered, okay, but we're actually getting out. And these dragoons, bring them out of the way just to clear a bit of space. And then, as we said, these dragoons here are going to act as a bit of a rear guard. Now, I will bring this cavalry out. Okay, they're disordered, just to give a bit of protection against these Spaniards here in case they come back up. So Milhaud's job now is to act as a rear guard. He has been quite busy. I didn't think he'd be used this much. Overwatch, then involved in the attack, now acting as a rear guard. These dragoons will bring them over here, provide a bit of an overwatch, just in case Spanish cavalry appear from the woods, or these guys sort themselves out. Okay, so that is the end of turn 15. So, big picture stuff, end of turn 15 with the situation report, and we see Merlin and his cavalry finally got round on that high ground. They went across the road, they took that victory location, and now they are in good order, and they are they are covering Wellington's line of retreat. So they're providing overwatch on the rear, and we've actually almost surrounded that northern sector. We might push them in once we've got 1 or 2 turns. Ruffin has actually managed to get into the game, so he's made contact on that northern sector, and they're going quite well. Followed up by some of Beaumont's cavalry as well. We set up 2 batteries up there. Little Marburg, his cavalry are doing well. We've used them quite well, I'd like to think. Villers with his infantry, they're continuing to press on and pushing the British off of that high ground. The Spanish have disappeared. They've run away before they really got into the fight. We've had some contact with them, but there was quite a few more Spanish there at the start than there is now. We haven't seen head nor tail of them. Puthol is continuing to push on. We're bringing our batteries up now to deal with some cavalry that we saw in the woods, and that's my biggest concern, that cavalry, because there's a large number of cavalry roving in the woods. Lepice, he's pretty much steadied out, I think, from the last time we had a situation report. They're recovering, they're building up a sizable force, bringing up some horse artillery to deal with them. Sebastiani, he's doing quite well. We've had to deal with some stationary troops that just would not budge, so we've had to destroy them, so progress has been a little bit slow. De Sol has pushed up across the river and established a front line just into the woods and basically holding the main road there. So that's the northern sector. If we move it to the south, we can see Sebastiani there and Potocki. Our weakest sector, we do have some cavalry lurking somewhere at the back there, so got to be wary of that. However, the Guard and Salini and Laval and Milhor and his cavalry haven't got on that well down in Talavera. Shouldn't really have pushed on, made a little bit of a mess of it. Not the end of the world. And we just started on that last turn a tactical retreat to join up with Potocki and the left flank of Sebastiani and consolidate our position there. Should be able to do that in the next few turns. So that's how it's going, and we will catch you on the next turn.